Hi students, and welcome to this live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you are having an awesome start to your weekends. Everybody, in this class we are looking at IELTS reading, the reading section, and we're going to be reading about world currencies, money. That's right. It's a good topic in English. A lot of money changes hands using English. Welcome, Fuang. Welcome our chat moderator, Carolina. Everybody, Carolina is in blue in the chat. Our channel members are in green. And welcome to our viewers. Hi, Akira, Arnab, Ariadna. Nice to have you all here with me today. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there for the general IELTS. Check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live classes. They contain all of our materials, including these reading exams. The academic IELTS, aehelp.com, looks like this. With this nice blue background, you can click the big red button. It's just kind of behind above me there to join the premium version of the course. When you do that, use the code VISIT9 for a 10% discount. Price is different in different countries to meet the local economies, so check that out. We are an IDP affiliate. We are a British Council partner. We are an IELTS test registration center. We have the first IELTS videos on YouTube ever, and we're here to help you pass your test. Brothers for Life says, big fan, sir. Thank you. I appreciate your words. General IELTS, gieltshelp.com, green background. Again, click the big red button right there. It is a one-time payment. You get lifetime access. Students, we have apps for you as well. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help from your app stores. They link to the websites. You cannot use the discount code on the apps because apps don't like discount codes. Android has and Apple has designed apps not really for discount codes. Anyway, premium students. So those students who are premium students, you have Zoom links coming at you later today for your premium Zoom classes. Instagram has a lot of goodies for you as well. IELTS_AE-help, GIELTS help for Instagram. Natika, Hora, I am here to help you get that over band 7 score. That's my job. That's what I'm here to do. So hang in there for this class. We're going to have fun. We're going to learn English and some good tips and strategies for the reading section of the IELTS. YouTube.com/aehelp/store takes you to Shopify, where you can get our course as well. If you like to edit videos, you can send a CV to our emails below, adrian@aehelp.com and admin@aehelp.com. You will be able to get a hold of me and ask questions, or my colleagues. Send us a question if you have one. All right, students, so April 12th to the 16th, we've got this reading class. Tomorrow we've got speaking part 2, the cue card, the long part. Then we have speaking part 3 for everybody on the website. No class on Sunday, Monday, and then the premium Zoom class for students. We might use Zoom a little bit later today for the reading as well. Okay. Natika, IDP and British Council, doesn't matter. It's the same test, everybody. It's kind of funny. People keep asking that question. I get it. Okay, students, here it is. IDP is from Australia, and British Council is from the UK. It's the same test, same IELTS test. Okay, they literally have like the same. Like, I don't mean it kind of looks like they on the same dates, they have the same test. Okay, so if you're taking your exam on April 13th tomorrow at British Council and somebody else is taking it at IDP, you get the same test. Got it? Does that answer your question, Nitika? Yeah, it's the same question. It's the same exam. Anybody knows how much an IELTS exam costs to make? I don't think people really know. For that reason, they don't make different ones for different days. They make the same one on the same day around the world. Yeah, they cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Thousands and thousands of dollars, okay, per exam. Each IELTS exam costs thousands of dollars to produce. Okay. I would ballpark it around the $20,000-$30,000 range. Okay. All right. So, reading strategies. Today, everybody, we're looking at this reading passage. Currencies around the world. Okay. Currencies around the world. Let me see. Can I kind of get this a little bit smaller for you here so you can see the whole title there, and then I'll make it bigger. So it's currencies around the world. Now, when you get to the reading section, okay, then you want to always just read the title and think about it. Like, you think, okay, what do I know about this? Currencies around the world. What do I know about that? Right? What is my knowledge of currency around the world? And you want to gather as much information as you can. So, students, what do you know about currencies around the world? What do you know about this topic before you start reading? Okay, think about that. So, strategy 1 is always think about the title. Helps you to understand. Okay. Ugulhan says, I see some beautiful euros. All right, sure. So currency can be pretty. Yeah, I guess. Okay, so there are many different kinds of currencies, right? Okay, what else do you know? So many types of currencies. Yeah, Ariadna says they're different. Some are stronger, some are weaker. There are a few main currencies. Yeah, so many types. Some stronger, more buying power. Some are weaker. What else do you know? Come on, I'm sure you know lots. There's inflation, there's Bitcoin, there's digital currency. Sure, digital currency. There's inflation to currency. Exactly. They get exchanged, right? You can trade them. You can exchange them. They get exchanged. Okay? Sometimes they disappear. New ones appear. Right? So think about all that information before you start reading. That's the first tip. Think about the title. Think about what you know. And then we look at the questions. Okay? Now, a lot of people think, well, I'll look at the questions and then I'll start scanning for the answers. That's a bad idea. Let's read the questions first. So here we go. The text on the previous page has 6 paragraphs, A to F. Now, this is reading, everybody, so read with me. Okay? Which paragraphs contain the following information? Write the correct letter A to F in boxes 28 to 34 on your answer sheet. Note, by the way, you may use any letter more than once. So this is matching information to the paragraphs. Okay, we have paragraph A, B, C, D, E, F. We have to match these to these paragraphs. All right, so here we go. Yes, this is one of the question types. A type of currency with no intrinsic value. An ancient gold standard. Grain convertible currency. The first non-representative currency. Economic pressures influencing currency values in modern times. An example of the mismanagement of government finances due to war measures. The reason trade in gold was feasible in ancient times. Okay, so when you read these questions, one good tip is to paraphrase them. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to see this keyword intrinsic value and I'm going to search for that keyword. No. Okay, it does not say anywhere in the IELTS that you will find the same word in the passage. So you might not find this word. And you might skim or scan the whole passage and realize that it's not in there. Okay, so a better way to do this is to paraphrase, to think of other ways that this sentence can be in the passage. A type of currency with no intrinsic value. What's another way to say that? What is another way to say a type of currency with no intrinsic value? Okay. Very good. So Anahita says a kind of money that lacks value on its own. Very good. Anahita, that's correct. So Anahita says a kind of money that lacks worth of its own. Yes, it has no value, so it's like paper. Right? Okay, the old gold standard. The old gold exchange. Sure. All right. Grain convertible currency. What's another way to say that? Simple way, everybody. Simple way. Grain convertible currency. Okay. Sudanshu, I'm going to talk about the true, false, not given in a moment. We have that type of question in this. Okay, so grain convertible currency. What's another way to say that? I would just keep this really simple. I would say food used as money. Okay, grains are like wheat, barley, hops. So they're the seeds that we use for food. Okay. All right. V says food stamp. B, kind of. V, kind of. Yeah. Bishnu says food used as money. Yeah, food used as money. That's what I have, Bishnu. I think we're on the same page, right? The first non-representative currency, the earliest belief currency, belief money, money that we believe in, sure, yeah. Economic pressures influencing currency values in modern times. I'm just going to do a one word for that one. Inflation. Right? If you know the vocabulary, you're like, I think that's just a really long way to say inflation. And the IELTS does that. So the IELTS will have sometimes these very long definitions that really just are focusing on one word, inflation. right? Everybody agrees. Economic pressure influencing currency value in modern time. What are they talking about? Us now. Inflation. Okay, an example of the mismanagement of government finances due to war measures. Okay, that sounds like an old story. So governments, bad money decisions because of war. That would be my paraphrase. The reason trade in gold was feasible in ancient times, the logic for using gold a long time ago, right? Okay, Sudanshu says, I don't like these true, false, not given questions. That's because people have the worst strategies for these, Sudanshu. Strategy 1 for true, false, not given. Don't read it before the passage. It's confusing. You don't know what's false. You don't know what's true. You don't know what's given. That is your first step, Sudanshu. Don't read true, false, not given. You can't skim and scan for true, false, not given answers. If you do that, students, if you try to skim and scan read for true, false, not given, you will run out of time. Okay, it's a horrible strategy. Everybody with me so far? It makes logical sense, right? Like imagine you're like, oh, okay, currency whose value, okay, I'm going to skim read for that. Okay, I'm skimming. It's not in the first paragraph. I'm scanning. It's not in the second paragraph. Okay, I'm skimming. It's not in the third. I'm scanning. It's not in the fourth. I'm skimming. It's not. I'm scanning. Oh, I got to the end. I don't think it's in the entire passage, but I don't really know because I was just skim reading. So even if it's in there, I probably just skipped it. But you know what? I already wasted like 5 minutes on this one question. So I'm just going to put in not given. Don't skim and scan. IELTS is designed not for skimming and scanning. Okay, so true, false, not given won't work. Multiple choice. There we go. Some of you were asking about multiple choice questions. Bishnu. Multiple choice questions, the first step is just read the question. Don't read the answers because they're confusing, especially when you have lots and lots of writing like that bottom one. Okay, so only read the question, right? Yeah, Akira says 5 minutes for skimming for one answer. Yeah, that happens. I've seen it because students are like, why don't you just read the passage in 5 minutes, right? People do it. People do it. All right, so just read the question. Which of these societies is given as an example of failing to properly manage currency? Okay, so what nation, country, culture is provided as the example to handle money? That's kind of connected to one of those previous ones, okay? All right, and then we've got what is a floating currency? Now this one, floating currency, we'll probably see that somewhere exactly the same in the passage, but I'm not going to skim read, okay? Because maybe it's in like 5 places. So a floating currency is, okay? So I just read those, not the options. All right, now I go back and I read the passage, okay? In a calm, focused manner, while visualizing, so paying attention. I'm traveling, I'm using money, I'm traveling across the world, and maybe I'm traveling through time because it sounds like we're going to learn about currency at different parts of human history or different times in human history. So I'm traveling through time. Now, everybody, this passage should be in your general IELTS, reading section 3. Reading section 3 of the general IELTS, same as academic. Reading sections. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's use the website for the first reading. We'll read a couple of times just to really figure this out, and then we'll work through the questions together. So again, this is our general IELTS website here at gieltshelp.com. Okay, so the website for the general IELTS is this one here. Okay. And then for the academic, for those of you looking for academic text, it's this one here. Okay, so for the general IELTS one, when you have the premium access, you get a lot of materials to help you master IELTS. Okay. And you have your My Student account. In your My Student account, you have a lot of features, including the audio CDs. And in the audio CDs, this is your third exam and your third reading section. So this is going to be this one here, I believe. Let's listen to it.
Currency around the world. Currency is the name given to the system of money generally used in a country. Example of today's currencies include the British pound, the American dollar, and the euro. Currency, however, has a long history, and its origins can be traced back to the cultures of Mesopotamia and Egypt more than 4,000 years ago. In these civilizations, animal-shaped pieces of metal were used as currency. These pieces of metal represented grain stored in a town granary. A person could, presumably, convert their money to grain at an established rate. The problem with this system is that it is severely susceptible to warfare and piracy. If a foreign army takes over a town's granary, all of a sudden those pieces of currency are worthless. With these difficulties in mind, the next innovation in currency was to establish the value of the currency within the currency itself. Gold had long been the most coveted metal by many societies. The Lydians of what is modern-day Turkey were the first to use gold in coinage in approximately 800 BC. Having the coins themselves made of gold removed the need for the currency to represent something. It simply was a piece of gold and had the corresponding monetary value. The ancient Greeks further popularized the use of gold coins. They also used silver and copper coins. Silver was used for medium to large transactions, while copper coins were the currency of general use for the merchant and the peasant classes. Shaving of coins, whereby a dishonest person took some of the gold off a coin with a knife, was a significant problem until the scientist Archimedes discovered a method which could determine the exact amount of gold in any sample. From this point on, trade in gold was reliable and safe, which was one of the many reasons for the success and proliferation of the Greek and Roman empires. Because gold was reserved for high-end transactions, most middle-class trade was done in copper. When copper became more plentiful, driving the value of it down, the amount of copper needed for a certain transaction became physically cumbersome. To carry around several kilograms of copper coins was not particularly practical. In 10th century China, this led to the introduction of paper currency. These paper banknotes, or bills, represented a certain amount of gold, and could be traded for that gold at any time. This is a system which in modern times is referred to as the gold standard. A system of intrinsically worthless bills which represent an amount of gold. The problem with this system is that banknote issuers tend to print more money than they have gold, so that inflation becomes a serious problem. Not unlike today's credit cards, societies pay for wars and other expensive endeavors by simply printing more money, a practice which is wholly unsustainable. Today's currencies are referred to as fiat currencies. This means that they do not represent gold or any other physical medium of value. They derive their worth from what the government says they are worth. The United States was the last major country to convert from gold-backed currency to fiat currency in 1971, while intrinsically worthless money, that is to say the paper itself has no value, is, on the surface, an unappealing notion. Economic pressures around the world assure that fiat currencies retain their value. There are exceptions, however. Weimar Germany of the early 20th century experienced what is called hyperinflation, where a currency rapidly loses its value due to overprinting. In 1918, when Germany converted to fiat currency, a 1 mark banknote was worth 1 mark in gold. 5 years later, it took 1 trillion marks in banknotes to buy 1 mark in gold. In the stronger, more peaceful economies of the modern era, such gross mismanagement of money is practically non-existent, although inflation continues to be an issue of economic importance worldwide. Today's currencies, for the most part, are allowed to float on the open market. This means that they can be bought and sold as stocks are bought and sold. Exchange rates are set by the economic pressures of the day, and these can change markedly from year to year. Since the stock market crash of 2008, for example, the US dollar has diminished in value compared to other world currencies, most notably the Canadian and Australian dollars. Due to economic instability in countries such as Greece, the euro is experiencing downward pressures as well. From its humble beginnings as lumps of cheap metal representing amounts of grain, to gold coins, to the paper fiat currency of the 20th century, money has undergone many changes through the years. Today, currency is moving toward plastic banknotes, which have a much longer lifespan and increased durability. Grain, gold, paper, or plastic. Currency has been making banking, trade, and commerce possible for over 4,000 years, and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future.
All right, students, so that audio for that
Hello
reading is on the website. And I see a comment by Jennifer Mamuni who says 10 minutes is gone. Jennifer,
Currency around the
in actual fact, that reading is 5 minutes and 46 seconds only. So you still would have more than 14 minutes for the questions if you read that fast, everybody. Okay, so that was 5 minutes, 46 seconds. That's actually a bit fast. Students, you can take up to 8-10 minutes to read, no problem, okay? It is okay. It is okay to spend 8 to 10 minutes to read a passage in the academic or a section in the general IELTS. This still leaves you with 10 to 12 minutes for questions. Think about this as interesting fact, everybody. If you cannot answer a question on average in 40 seconds, then the problem is with the comprehension and reading speed, okay? There is no strategy that will help you to get a high score. So if a candidate cannot answer most questions correctly with an average of 40 seconds per question, then the person must learn better English reading. Said another way, no strategy can help. Only luck, only luck, but you can't take IELTS by luck because it's very unlikely, can help to get a high score. Okay, so this is probably where half the people will leave. They'll be like, oh, really? There's no super tip that will help me to answer all the questions if I can't do it? Yeah, so that's about the timing, okay, for those of you who are a little bit concerned about the timing of reading. All right, students, let's do this. So let's now look at the reading passage again. I'll get the help of some of your peers or perhaps you to volunteer. This is how you volunteer for reading. It's the same as what we do in the speaking classes. Go to aehelp.com and then log into your My Student account. You can create one for free if you don't have one. If you have a premium account, great. I will see that you're a premium student. Then you click on Student Partner Speaking. So you have this in the general IELTS as well here. Okay, same idea. I'm going to switch to the academic one for now. This is the academic at aehelp.com. This is the student account. If you don't have a student account, you'll have to create one. Okay. And again, you also have the reading audios here for all the academic ones if you have premium access. And then you click on Student Partner Speaking. Okay. Click. And you get into this interface here. I see that Maheshwar is in here already. Manikanta, Evgenia is in here. We've been having a little bit of hiccups synchronizing this with YouTube, but that's okay. If it doesn't work, we'll just shift to Zoom. I do have a Zoom link for you today as well. So join this up, and then you can volunteer. The way to volunteer for reading is send me a message. You will see me in here. My handle is Master. And then send me a message by clicking on the blue envelope there, and then just say hi or hello or I want to try. I see our premium student Azim is in here. We've got Kenjayeva in here. Yeah, so send me a message. Domenico, I would love to visit you in the Florida Keys. Okay. Azim, let's try to make a connection here. So are you ready? I'm shouting at you. Let's take that caps lock off. Okay. Are you ready? Yes, let's try. Azim, can you hear me? I cannot hear you, Azim. So again, I'm just going to try a couple of students to see if the system's working. It's behaving a bit strangely, but don't worry. Like I say, I have a Zoom link here, so Azim, hang in there. Let me, do I want to reset it? Maybe I will. I can do that as well. Just give me a second here. Okay, so Evgenia, let's try it. Hi. Yeah, Evgenia, sorry, I can't hear you as well. I'm going to try one step here before I go to Zoom, because I'm not sure if all of you have Zoom. But just let me do this. I'm going to just refresh the page here, and then keep volunteering, students. I will, I think Kenjayeva was volunteering, maybe. Let's try Azim one more time here. Azim, if it doesn't work with you now, then I'll just do it through Zoom, okay? So one more time, okay? I just kind of refreshed my page here. Okay. All right, let's do it. Yeah, I still don't hear you, Azim. So it could be on my end. Deborah thinks it's on my end, so maybe. Who knows? All right. Anyhow, not to worry. We'll do it through Zoom. Okay. So here's the Zoom link. I'm just going to start this up on my end. There's the Zoom link for you there. And then let me start that up, and then I'll let everybody in. Now, of course, I can only use my camera in one place, so I will continue to use it here on YouTube. So I will only use audio in Zoom without video, but you will hear the audio, okay? All right, everybody. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, zoom.com, you can download it, but I think if you click the link, it will give you the download for Zoom as well. So let me just start admitting people here into the Zoom session. We have V, Evgenia, Anahita, and more people joining in, which is great. Okay. So I want it to be interactive. Azamat's in here. Baral. Nice. Ariadna. Okay, I'm just going to mute everybody right now. If you would like to volunteer to read and answer questions, I will, of course, help you and guide you. All you have to do is raise your hand. Okay. You can do that in Zoom with the reactions. So you have the reactions pane here and you can raise your hand. See how my hand just went up in my little screen there? Okay. So Anahita has her hand up, and everybody who is trying to volunteer on the website now, you can raise your hand and I can see it. Okay, I'm going to admit Azim and Aitaka and Benea, which is nice. Okay, so you can also use the chat. By the way, we have these Zoom classes for premium students twice a week. Okay. All right. Anahita, you can unmute yourself. Hi, Anahita.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm also doing well.
Okay. Anahita, you ready to read a little bit?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's do it. So you will see the text come onto the screen now. So the title is Currency Around the World. And go ahead and start with paragraph A here.
I cannot see the title yet.
Don't worry about the title. Just start reading with from paragraph A. So that's why I read the title for you. It's Currency Around the World. But you're smart. You should always start with the title. It's just a little bit off screen. So just go with paragraph A.
Okay, A. Currency is the name given to the system of money generally used in a country. Examples of today's currencies include the British pound, the American dollar, and the euro. Currency, however, has a long history, and its origins can be traced back to the cultures of Mesopotamia and Egypt more than 4,000 years ago. In these civilizations, animal-shaped pieces of metal were used as a currency. These pieces of metal represented grain stored in a town generally. A person could presumably convert their money to grain at an established rate. The problem with this system is that it is severely susceptible to warfare and piracy. If a foreign army takes over a town's granary, all of a sudden those pieces of currency are worthless. With these difficulties in mind, the next innovation in currency was to establish the value of the currency within the currency itself.
Great. All right. So yeah, Anahita, with difficult words like granary or susceptible, just read through. Everybody repeat after me. Susceptible.
Susceptible.
Susceptible means vulnerable.
Okay.
Just repeat after me. Anahita, just repeat after me. Susceptible means vulnerable.
Susceptible means vulnerable.
Granary.
Granary.
Granary is where grains are stored.
Granary is where grains are stored.
Okay, Anahita, in the real exam, a really good strategy is once you read a paragraph, stop and ask yourself, what is this paragraph about? Create a picture, okay? So, what is this paragraph about?
It is about the definition of currency, its origin, and the problems of former currencies,
and the earliest form of currency, right?
And the problems of former currencies,
and the earliest form of currency. Right? So definition of currency and the earliest form of currency, which was kind of grain or grain stocks. All right. Now, they were vulnerable, right? So there was problems with it. It talks about that as well. When you imagine this paragraph, then what do you see? So what do you visualize in your head, Anahita?
I am in Egypt or another country. And there people are using grains for the exchange of money.
What do you see? Is that what you see inside of your head? Anahita?
No, but
Okay,
yes.
I'll tell you what I see, and then we'll see if what I see and what you see are different. Okay, so what I see is there's a grain store. Okay, so it's kind of like a food store. It's got lots of little food grain in there. And I'm an evil pirate. I lived thousands of years ago. And I just attacked this little village with my sword. There's my sword. And I'm such a meanie. I've now taken all of their grains, which basically means I just took all of their money. Right? So early currency, easy to destroy, easy to steal, easy to make it lose its value. Big problem. I'm the pirate, the bad guy. I just took it. Why did I do that, Anahita? Why am I the bad guy? Why did I just steal this poor, ancient, hardworking farmer's town's food? What am I doing there? Why am I doing this? Why am I seeing this?
Because it is easily vulnerable.
Yeah, but what's the reason for me doing this when I'm reading? So I'm reading this IELTS passage, right? I literally just took like, a minute to read this introductory paragraph. I think about, okay, what is this about? How can I see this in my head? I see myself robbing this little town of its food, of its basically its currency, its money, many, many years ago. Why is it important for me to see this? Why is it important for me to be this bad guy, this pirate in this case?
I don't know.
Okay, so the reason for it is because when we participate in the information, so we're a part of the information, our brain will remember that information and we'll be able to use that information. So now when I finish reading the whole passage and I start to get to these questions, right, then I can answer them quickly. Like number 30 says grain, convertible currency, food used as money. I easily remember now that I'm the evil pirate stealing people's food money in paragraph A. So I can just go, okay, that's paragraph A, and that's my answer. And I know that because I saw that, right? Do you get it?
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
The reason why a lot of people who speak good English, a native speaker, non-native speaker, doesn't matter. One of the biggest reasons they get low scores in the reading section is because they read the passage and then they forget all the information. And then they have to go back and keep skim reading and scanning for the information again because they forgot all about it. And the reason they forgot about it is because they didn't find it interesting, they didn't see any of it, they didn't organize any of it in their head, and it's not easy to keep all that information in your head if you're not paying attention. You kind of follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Right? And for those high band scores like 8 or 9, you have to be able to track the information, right? So you have to see it clearly. So Anahita, you have to be a part of this information, okay?
Okay.
All right, so see the information, Anahita. But that was really good reading. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Anahita. All right, let's give Anahita a thumbs up. I'm going to give it in the chat here. Yeah, it's one of the most common comments that I get, everybody, is people are like, oh, I understand what I'm reading when I'm reading it. My problem is that when I get to the questions, I completely forget where I was reading it and what I was doing. Simple answer, you weren't paying attention. Okay, just because you're in the test and you think you're paying attention doesn't mean you're paying attention. If you're not seeing the information, if you're not logically sorting the information, then you're not really paying attention. Okay, so that's what we call active reading, everybody. Okay, so you must practice active reading. You must practice active reading in IELTS exams, meaning that you think critically of each paragraph and clearly see information with you as a participant. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? All right. So be the pirate. Okay. All right. So that's what you need to do. Okay. Ariadna, do you want to unmute yourself? I see others have their hands up. Ariadna, you can unmute yourself if you'd like. Everybody, we're using Zoom here for volunteering, and our premium students get these Zoom classes, as I was mentioning. Okay. Ariadna, unmute. I think you're muted still.
Hello? Hello,
Hi.
Adrian. Can you hear me?
I can, Ariadna. How are you?
Oh, how are you? I'm great, and I hope you too.
I am. I'm
Yeah.
quite well. Thank you for asking. I'm having a great day. Yes. All right. Ariadna, let's go back and keep reading about currency. So remember what I said, right? Try to see the information, not just try, but actually see the information as you read through it. So paragraph B, here we go. You should see it on your screen in a few moments here. Whenever you're ready, gold has long been.
Gold had long been the most coveted metal in many societies. The Lydians of what is modern-day Turkey were the first to use gold in coinage in approximately 800 BC, having the coins themselves made of gold removed to need for the currency to represent something. It simply was a piece of gold and had the corresponding monetary value. The ancient Greeks further popularized the use of gold coins. They also used silver and copper coins. Silver was used for medium to large transactions, while copper coins were the currency of general use for the merchant and the peasant classes. Shaving of coins whereby a dishonest person took some of the gold off a coin with a knife was a significant problem until the scientist Archimedes discovered a method which could determine the exact amount of gold in any sample. From this point on, trade in gold was reliable and safe. I can see.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. And safe, which was one of the many reasons for the success and proliferation of Greek and Roman empires.
Good. Okay, repeat after me, everybody, not just Ariadna. Proliferation.
Proliferation.
Yeah, it's
proliferation. Yeah, very difficult.
So break it into prefix,
Yeah.
root, suffix. Prefix, pro. Root, liferate.
Liferate.
And suffix,
Proliferate.
and suffix, shun.
Proliferation. Proliferation.
Exactly. Do you know what that means, proliferation?
Maybe something connected with success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proliferate means the widespread popularization. So it's multiplying and multiplying and multiplying and becoming more and more and more popular. So to proliferate means to multiply and spread.
To multiply and spread.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so students, as you're doing your reading, make sure that you pay attention and definitely learn new words at home as you're doing this. Now, you will see new words in your IELTS reading when you take the exam, guaranteed. I see new words every time I see a new IELTS exam. That's on purpose. They want to see if you can understand new words from context, and you did a good job with that, Ariadna. So, Ariadna, this paragraph, first body paragraph, what is it about?
I think just a moment. It's about the first transaction. The first
read the topic
currencies.
sentence. Read the topic sentence. So, with
about gold, yeah,
okay,
gold
good.
had long been the most converted metal.
Yeah.
But the next is the.
There's silver and there's copper.
Silver
So
and
all of these together, gold, silver,
and
copper. What do we call those? Gold, silver,
metals.
copper, platinum.
Yeah, metals.
What kind of metals?
What kind?
Yeah, platinum,
Hard
silver.
metals.
They're called precious metals.
Precious metal. Oh yeah, of course.
Precious metal is mostly about gold, right? As a currency, right? Gold as a currency. All right. What do you see here when you? I have a really funny visualization for this paragraph, but what do you see when you read this paragraph? So where are you? What are you doing?
Many metal pieces in different colors, like gold and silver. So
where are you? Always include yourself. Where are you in all of this?
Where are I don't know. Maybe on this pirate ship.
You're on a pirate ship with lots of gold.
Yeah, with
right?
yeah.
With treasure chests full of gold. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I see. Have you ever seen the movie Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what I see is I'm literally Golem. I'm that weird little creature, and I have my gold, and I'm like my gold. I'm like my precious.
My precious, yeah.
I'm Golem with my gold ring of power, and I'm like my precious. And maybe I'm in like ancient Rome, so I'm Golem with a nice feather hat. There you go. That's what I see. Okay, so
yeah, of course.
That's me. So it's good. You want to attach that kind of image or picture with the body paragraphs, because as soon as you do that, your brain will clasp onto that information, and it will make it very usable for you when you get to the other paragraphs. Okay, so Ariadna, thank you so much for reading.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, let's give Ariadna a thumbs up. Boom. That was really nice reading, by the way, from Ariadna. Very nice, fluent reading, good pronunciation. Okay. All right, let's keep going here. Anybody else? So once again, students, I'm just going to admit everybody. We have James, Mani, Kenjayeva coming in here. Azim's still in here. Who's got their hand up? Azim has their hand up. Azim, you can unmute yourself. Go for it.
Hello, Mr. Adrian.
How are you, Azim?
Thank you. I'm well. I had a very productive day.
Nice. That's great to hear. I'm just starting my productive day, so that's my that's it's good. So far it's productive. I've already visualized myself as Golem, and it's a good day when I see myself as a strange little.
I like the pirate one more than Golem.
You like me? Okay, you like me as a pirate
creative.
more than Golem. How about a Golem pirate? How about that? I'm a pirate Golem. Okay, so I put I put the link for Zoom for everybody in the chat again, just for some people who are like, "Where's that Zoom link?" Okay, let's do some reading, Azim. Let's jump to paragraph C. You will see it very, very soon on the screen. When you do, just start reading, okay?
Okay. Because gold was reserved for high-end transactions, most middle-class trade was done in copper. When copper became more plentiful, driving the value of it down, the amount of copper needed for a certain transaction became physically cumbersome. To carry around several kilograms of copper coins was not particularly practical. In the 10th century China, this led to the introduction of paper currency. These paper banknotes or bills represented a certain amount of gold and could be traded for that gold at any time. This is a system which in modern times is referred to the gold standard, a system of intrinsically worthless bills which represent an amount of gold. The problem with this system is that banknotes issuers tend to print more money than they have gold. So that inflation became a serious problem. Not unlike today's credit cards, societies pay more wars and other expensive endeavors by simply printing more money. A practice which is wholly, I can't see the last word,
Unsustainable.
unsustainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Azim, good reading. Definitely practice some aloud reading every day just to get nice and fluent with your aloud reading. Also helps that pronunciation, also helps some of those parts of your speaking that we've discussed in previous classes with the prepositions and the word form. So I highly recommend you, Azim, to do 20-30 minutes of loud English reading of this kind of text each day. It will really help you develop your language. Okay. All right. Overall, not bad. Like, don't get me wrong. That was good reading. I'm pushing you to be even better. Okay. All right. So some words that are, and word pairs that might be tricky, like particularly practical. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Repeat after me. Particularly practical.
Particularly practical.
Okay. Cumbersome.
Cumbersome.
Yeah. Cumbersome means it's like awkward and inconvenient. Like if I have like a huge bag of copper and I'm like, oh, how do I carry this? I need a horse. I got to buy a horse to just carry my copper, which is ridiculous because now I got to spend copper to carry copper. So that's what cumbersome is. It means it's just awkward and inconvenient. Okay. Simple in a simple 2-word answer here, Azim. What is this paragraph about?
Paper currency.
Almost.
Converting to paper currency.
Not quite yet. This isn't quite the fiat currency yet, right? So we have paper currency, but it's not the fiat currency. A lot of people make that confusion. They think paper immediately means fiat currency, but it's not. Older paper currency was not yet fiat currency. In China, it wasn't purely fiat currency.
Gold.
Gold standard. That is it. That's what this paragraph is about. It's the gold standard. It's that system of currency.
Standard.
What is that system of currency, the gold standard? You basically just said it.
They used paper
to represent
gold.
Exactly.
Currency.
What a great trick those Chinese came up with. Hey, I'm going to give you some paper for that gold, and you can just come back, and I'll give you back the gold when you. Because it's easier to carry, right? You don't carry all this heavy gold with you. Just carry this light paper that's worth the same. Okay.
Print more.
Yeah, it's like we sure fooled that guy. Right? Oh boy, us humans, right? We're a funny bunch. There's your visualization, right? You're that Chinese leader that just convinced that poor peasant to trade the gold for a whack of paper. We shouldn't laugh. That's terrible. Humans. Oh boy. All right. You know what, Azim? We're having so much fun. Let's just do one more paragraph.
It caused a progress in our history.
It did cause progress. There were benefits. Yeah, we're poking fun, but I mean, there was something to not packing around a bunch of metal, right? So,
exactly.
So there was logic to it, right? There was logic to it. I agree. All right. D, go for it, Azim.
Today's currencies are referred to as fiat currencies. This means that they do not represent gold or any other physical medium of value. They derive their worth from what the government says they are worth. The United States was the last major country to convert from gold-backed currency to fiat currency in 1971. While intrinsically worthless money, that is to say the paper itself has no value, is on the surface an unappealing notion, economic pressure around the world assured that fiat currencies retain their value. There are exceptions, however. We met Germany of the early 20th century experienced what is called hyperinflation, where a currency rapidly loses its value due to overprinting. In 1980, with Germany converted to flat currency, a 1 mark banknote was worth 1 mark in gold. 5 years later, it took 1 trillion marks in banknotes to buy 1 mark in gold. In the stronger, more peaceful economy, I can see the
Yeah,
rest of it.
sorry. Just give me a second. I just had to exit that page there. Okay, go for it.
Okay.
It's coming. It's coming.
Economies of
In the stronger, more peaceful economies, right here, in the stronger, more peaceful economies of the modern era,
such gross mismanagement of money is practically non-existent. Although inflation continues to be an issue of economic importance worldwide.
All right, so there was a reason for you to read the second paragraph. It gave you the next evolution of currency, right? So from gold standard to fiat currency,
fiat
right?
currency.
Where now the paper
fiat currency
itself has value because we give it value and it's no longer attached to gold, right? Now, Azim, hopefully here what you saw is instead of running around with a big heavy bag full of gold or copper, now you're running around with a big heavy bag full of paper. Because you have a trillion German marks. And I think the 1 mark of gold, the 1 mark of gold is probably easier to carry than that trillion German marks and banknotes. And I don't know if you know this part of history, everybody. We shouldn't laugh. It was terrible, and it led to the big wars, of course, as well. But people had like carriages full of money. Like they literally had like wheelbarrows full of money. I think there's still pictures on the internet that you can find where people are like pushing around like big carts full of banknotes to buy bread and groceries. It was crazy. But anyhow, Azim, that was really good. So notice here how we're having fun. We're getting a bit interested in this topic, right, Azim? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Like we're kind of having fun with it? Yeah.
I agree,
That's what you want in the IELTS, okay? You want to be interested. One of the big problems with a lot of candidates when they sit the IELTS is they are just waiting for it to be over. They're like, I'm just waiting for this test to be over so I can go home and the stress to finish. And yes, I want to do good, but I, it's so stressful and I'm not really interested in these topics. So you have to change that attitude. You have to kind of enjoy what you're doing, even if you don't understand 100%. You still have to enjoy what you're doing, right? It's such an important part of the process.
Also, I think if you have some common knowledge, like I knew that that inflation in Germany caused that Hitler became their leader, and World War II and all of things that happened after. So I noticed that, and I get so much interest to this text because wow, that's why their economy was so bad.
And we have to learn from that. Yeah, IELTS is full of global topics, and it's very important to have this kind of global knowledge of certain situations. I mean, currency is not a topic for Americans or for people living in Turkey or China. It's for everybody, right? We all use currency, right? So we should have an idea of what it is and how it works. All right, Azim, thank you so much for volunteering.
Thank you to Mr. Azim.
Okay, bye, Azim. All right, let's give Azim a big thumbs up. That was really good. Good reading and lots of fun. Okay, V, I see you there. Kenjayeva, hang in there. We're going to get everybody's help here. Again, everybody, we're using Zoom for this. I put the link in there. Hi, V.
Hi, Mr. Adrian.
All right. Are you having fun so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. Okay. V, you're in Vietnam, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Vietnam has a pretty interesting situation with currency because your currency is really marked up as well, right? Like it takes like thousands of duong to buy small items, right?
Yes. $1 is equal like 25,000 Vietnam dong.
Yeah, right.
So it's actually decrease in value.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But it's at least it's somewhat stable right now, right? Somewhat.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. All right. V, let's read. So go ahead and read paragraph E.
Today's currency, for the most part, are allowed to float on the open market. This means that they can be bought and sold as stocks are bought and sold. Exchange rates are set by the economic pressures of the day, and these can change markedly from year to year. Since the stock market crashed up 20, 12, 20, 28, 20 and 8, for example, the US dollar had diminishes in value compared to other world currencies. Most notably the Canadian and Australian dollars, due to economic instability in countries such as Greece. The euro experiencing downward pressures as well.
Okay, V, what is this paragraph about?
It's about the use of money in open market.
Yeah, that's a great answer, V. That was very smart. Did everybody hear that? So V said it's about the use of modern money in the open market, right? So fiat currencies in an open market where you can exchange it. So V, if you wanted to today, you can walk into your bank, take a million Vietnamese dong and say, I want X amount of US dollars for this, or euros, or Chinese yuan, or whatever you want to change it for, right? And
Yes,
hopefully that's...
I imagine like putting myself in the open market so somebody can bought and exchange me to something.
You're the exchange guy. Works okay. All right. You're like, I'll trade you for your gold. All right. So last paragraph. V, go for it. Paragraph F.
For me, it's humble beginnings as lumps of cheap metal representing amounts of rent to gold coins to the paper fiat currency of the 20th century. Money has undergone many changes through the years. Today, currency is moving toward plastic banknotes, which have a much longer lifespan and increased durability. When gold, paper, or plastic currency has been making banking, trade, and commercial possible for over 4,000 years, and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future.
Excellent. V, you've got good vocabulary, good coherence, so I think you understand what you're reading quite well. Work on your reading fluency, okay? So lots and lots of reading. Same advice as I gave to Azim, just 20 minutes of nice aloud reading like this each day, and it's really going to help your pronunciation and your reading fluency. This conclusion, V, what is it about?
The evolution of money and the use of money from time to time.
Yeah, it's simply put, the evolution and importance of currency, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, V, that was really good. Thank you. You've got a very good understanding of what each paragraph is about, and that will really help you in the real exam to do a great job. Okay?
Yes, I will try to.
You will. You will. I'm sure you will.
Loudly visiting daily because because of my work, I speak a lot in the morning and get really tired in the evening. So.
Yeah, you get the mental burnout, but you know what? Practicing in this state can be very useful too. So you're doing a great job, V. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you. Goodbye, sir.
Bye, V. All right, that was really good. Kenjayeva, hopefully we have a good connection today. Everybody, again, we're using Zoom for these interactions, and our premium students get these twice a week, these classes just for them. But Kenjayeva, let's connect. So unmute yourself, and hopefully I can hear you. Hi, Kenjayeva.
Hello, sir.
It sounds like we have a good connection today. Yay.
Oh, really? You can hear me?
Nicely, yes, surprisingly well.
Oh, I'm glad. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you for asking. All right, Kenjayeva, question time. Let's do it. Let's do it together. So here we're going to match the information to the paragraph, and we'll start with question 28 here. Go ahead and read 28 for us, please.
A type of currency with no intrinsic value.
Okay. So a type of currency that doesn't actually have like really value of it in itself. Where do you think that information is? Okay, first of all, let's see if we can answer this question, Kenjayeva. So what is money that doesn't really have value on its own?
Isn't it like a food money? That's where we use this food as a money?
Well, does food have value on its own? So if you have some food, is it valuable on its own?
No.
Kenjayeva, you can eat that food and survive. Are you sure it doesn't have value?
Oh, wait. Yeah, I remember. It's a paper. Yeah, paper.
Okay.
Wow.
This is where you could be really smart with me, Kenjayeva, and say, hey, Adrian, you know you can eat paper money too, especially if you have like 1 million German banknotes. You know, you might not feel so good, but you can eat it.
No, actually, you can burn it in the winter. And
you can burn it in the winter. Yes, that's true. like who is it? Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger burns millions of dollars to stay warm. All right, but no, Kenjayeva, jokes aside, right? Jokes aside, paper money doesn't really have value, right? Where is that?
Yeah.
What paragraph do you think that is? The paper money part.
Oh,
A, B, C, D.
Somewhere in the middle, I guess.
Somewhere in the middle. Perfect. That's all you need to know. Is it somewhere in the middle, right? So somewhere around C or maybe D. If you read C, go for it. Just read a bit of C when you see it. Read just the topic sentence.
See, because gold was reserved for a high-end. I don't think so. It's not this one, maybe.
Probably
It's
not, because the gold still had some value, right? Okay. All right. Then read the next one, D.
Just a sec. Today's currency are referred to as a flat currency and has no value. Yeah, it's D.
Okay. So quite confident, right? It seems like these fiat currencies are, and if we keep going here, we see it, while intrinsically worthless money, right?
Yeah, that's to say the paper itself has no value.
Yeah, and see, instead of skimming and scanning through the whole passage, because just imagine if somebody's only using skimming and scanning, they would have to skim and scan A, B, C, and then even a good chunk of D before they got to this answer. That's way too slow. But you read the whole, you kind of knew where it was, you found it pretty quick, you say, okay, that's D, and you're happy with it, right? Just be careful though with your logic, okay, Kenjayeva? So food has value. You can eat food, okay? Gold, amazingly, also has value on its own, right? Not just for jewelry, but also for, especially these days, for technology, space science, and medicine. So it actually has value. All right. 29. Read that.
Ancient gold standards of gold exchange.
Okay.
I guess it's C now because we just read it.
Very good. So what was it? It was C, right?
It was C.
Okay, and I'm sure, I think, was it Azim? I think it was Azim. Yes, Azim could answer this very quickly because he's like, yes, I was the Chinese feudal lord that was like, oh, give me your gold. I'll give you some paper. So, yeah, the ancient gold standard. And that's the interesting part of using the correct strategy for understanding reading and then answering questions is you actually speed up. So when you're doing it correctly, you get faster and faster and faster with your answers and more confident. Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And when students use the wrong strategies, like some teacher tells them, oh, just find a keyword and then scan for it, and then they keep doing that, it actually goes the other way. So what happens is they get more and more frustrated as they start losing more and more time and getting more and more confused and more tired in the 1 hour of the reading section. Do you see what I'm saying with that?
Yeah, I know it's because on my first IELTS exam, I got like 5.5 from reading, and that's the strategy that I use. I mean, I kind of always use skimming and scanning for like finding answers, and I know that from my experience, it's not a really good strategy to use.
Yeah, it gets really frustrating and really time taking, as where this is actually pleasant. You become more confident, you find more answers faster. Okay, so number 31. Go ahead and read that.
The first non-representative currency, the earliest belief money.
What do you think? Just logically.
It's, I guess, maybe
Before you really rush into this one, right? It could be E, right? But where might you put that? So if you're talking about the earliest non-representative money, then where would it make sense? If you're writing this essay, where would you start to introduce that concept? If you're really paying careful attention and you remember my golem example, then it will kind of jump into mine as well, right? Like, my precious. And even Lord of the Rings, ironically or funnily, makes this point about the Ring of Power, the gold ring, that it's an actual non-representative ring. It's just a ring at the end of the day, right? So where would you put it, Kenjayeva? Where would you put the first non-representative currency?
like somewhere in the middle, I guess.
Why not somewhere in the beginning? Right? So yeah, I probably would. So think about, like, if you really picture currencies and you're like, okay, well, the first one was like food. Food is your currency. I'll trade you a chicken for your bag of rice. Okay. And then you're like, okay, chicken for rice. So that's our currency. And we're using that as money. So then after that, you want to use something that just represents or is non-actually real currency. So I would go all the way back to B for this one. Okay. Let's do a little bit of reading there. So go ahead and read B a little bit.
Gold had long been the most coveted metal, but by many societies, the Lydians of what is modern-day Turkey were the first to use gold in a coinage in approximately 800 BC. Having the coins themselves made of gold removed the need for the currency to represent something. Oh, I guess you're right. It's B.
Right? So the gold didn't need to represent something. It in itself was money, right? It didn't need to represent food or water or a horse or a house. It in itself was money, right? So B is the correct answer. So here, the trick that I used was to just really pay attention to the first non-representative, because paper money came after and digital money came after, and those are all non-representative. But the earliest was gold at B, right? Where it didn't actually represent, right? So it's a bit of a tricky one.
The first thing is kind of giving me a hint, so it's in this somewhere at the beginning, right?
Yeah, no guarantee. It could be near the end too, but if we're thinking about this topic and these ideas, then it does logically make sense that it comes somewhere earlier on, right? Okay, so let's leave the last three of these for other people, Kenjayeva, so they can have fun with it. So everybody watching, the economic pressures influencing currency values in modern times, 33 and 34, we'll leave for you. And we'll do a couple true, false, not given together. Okay, Kenjayeva?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it. So I think you've learned the strategy for true, false, not given before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's basically our first step then with these true, false, not given? We have to figure out what?
So firstly, you have to figure out if this like information is important for us or
Right.
not. It
Right.
basically helps us to know that if it's given or not.
Exactly.
And after that, we can decide if it's true or not.
Exactly. It's a two-step process, right? First, try to figure out if it's given or not given, and then try to figure out if it's true or false. Right. And you have to be really careful with the details of the question, because sometimes they have tricky little words that are like have the opposite meaning, or, you know, a little bit of a thinker. But that's okay. All right. So 35. Go ahead and read that for us when you're ready.
Currency whose value is self-contained is susceptible to loss of value from warfare. So it's
Mm-hmm.
the loss of from warfare. I guess it's kind of important, right?
It is important. I agree with you. If there's a currency that has value in itself, like a chicken, right? So a chicken's valuable, right? We can make dinner, Kenja Eva. It's self-contained. It has value in itself, right? It's not like a piece of paper money, right? That doesn't really have value until we give it value. So it's self-contained value. I love the chicken. So I'm not a vegetarian, as you can tell. So so the chicken has is susceptible to loss of value from warfare. So it is important. You're right. It's given. Is that true? Can it lose value? So can the chicken lose its value due to war?
Well, no. I mean,
are you sure?
But if I remember, like you saying that we are pirates and kind of steal that like food, and after that they will lose its value. I can remember you saying something like that. So,
exactly. So the answer is
like true.
Yeah, because if somebody shoots that chicken, it's terrible. Poor chicken. It's just lost its value. You're not going to buy a dead chicken that somebody shot 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it can be destroyed. The grain can be burned, right? So if we burn all of your grains, all of your rice, then you've lost all of its value. But if we can't really burn your gold, but if we burn all your paper money, did it lose all of its value?
Well, yeah.
No. Why?
But if we burn paper money,
okay,
money.
You know what? Actually, this town not far from where I live, Souk, a few years ago, this bank burned down, and a whole bunch of money in the bank burned away. They never found it, amazingly, but that's another story. But anyway, millions of dollars was in the bank, and it burned. Do you think the bank lost all that money that was in the bank that burned away?
I mean, they should have lost it.
No, they didn't, though, because do you know what they did?
What?
They just called the print, and they said, "Hey guys, they burned away the fire burned away $10 million in $100 bills. We have record. It's in the computer system. Please print us 10 million more dollars." Right? So you just reprint your money, basically. I mean, if we burned all the money right now in Canada or in Uzbekistan, you know what they would do? They would just put the printer on turbo and print out a whole bunch of new money, right? It's not like suddenly they would be like, "Oh, sorry everybody, you've got no money." No, they would just print a whole bunch. Now it would actually be easier because we just digitally create a whole bunch of zeros and ones. But that's it. So this answer is true for sure, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it would be true. Azim, it's true. Okay, makes sense. So tricky one, a little bit tricky, but you remembered the pirate. So yes. Okay, number 36.
Should I read it?
Yeah, read it.
Is it Archimedes?
Archimedes.
Archimedes discovered a method of shaving coins without being detected.
Is that important to know?
To be honest, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's not given, right?
Yeah,
Archimedes did discover a method to...
Useful for us to know it when it's about like money currency, like?
Well, we can search for Archimedes. So if we're really unsure, if we have like a maybe answer, then we might search for that, and he's somewhere in the beginning. It's right here. You can read this sentence. Archimedes discovered a method. Go for it.
Oh, I'm not seeing it yet.
You'll see it. Just be patient.
Archimedes discovered a method which could determine the exact amount of gold in any sample. From this point of, trade in gold was reliable and safe, which was one of the many reasons for the success and proliferation of the Greek and Roman empires.
Okay, so does it say that Archimedes discovered a method to shave gold so that it's not detected?
No.
No. But is it possible that Archimedes discovered a method to shave gold so that it's not detected?
Maybe.
Maybe. Does the passage say anything about that?
No, we don't have any information about it.
So it's not given. This is the tricky one, right? This is where a lot of people would say, oh, it's false because Archimedes discovered a different method. No. It's not false. And in fact, I'm not sure, but it might have been Archimedes because one of those guys did figure out a way to do that. And it might have been him. He's a very smart guy. So here, the answer is not given, right? That would technically be the correct answer. Okay. Kenja Eva. Let's do one more together. We're going to leave the rest of these true, false, not given for everybody else, and we'll do 39 together. Nice and quick here. 39. Go ahead. When you see it, Kenja, read it.
Which of these societies is given an example of failing to properly manage currency?
Okay, now wait. Before you read, don't read anything yet. Okay, what's your answer? Which from the passage that you just read, which society was used as an example where they just failed miserably to manage their money? Without the answers, without focusing on the answers, from your head. Students, you should always think about it on your own first from the information in the passage. Which one is it? Which society? You should remember this. We joked about this.
Yeah, we joked, but I can remember the society, which one was it?
Remember wheelbarrows and wheelbarrows? I even said to Azim, I'm like, and Azim said, yes, I heard about this. It led to World War I, World War II. It was one of the big reasons for this. And he said it led to the support of Hitler.
Oh. I really can't remember.
It was. Everybody's going to help you out here. Azim already gave you the answer. Azim knew. Ghazi said, remember, it was a trillion. Ghazi's giving you a tip. It was 1 trillion marks is what it was.
Yeah, I remember these numbers and saying that.
It was Germany. Germany. The Germans, right? Somebody got a little too happy with that printing machine. Printed a little bit too much money. 1 trillion too much money. So yes, they were probably like, hey, I printed a whole bunch for me. And then their brother or sister was like, hey, can you print me some? And then they're like, yeah. And then they're like, hey, well, I got this friend. And then he's like, yeah, well, let's print your friend some. And then the friend's like, well, I know this guy who lives in the other city that really, and then, okay, let's print him some too. That's pretty much how you can end up printing 1 trillion too much, right? You're printing everybody a little bit. And so that was the answer there.
Like, was it logic too? Like,
was there a logic to it?
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Like,
you're my friend. I like you. I want you to be rich. Let's print you some money. That was the logic.
No, I'm thinking about Germany. But, I mean, we can kind of choose Germany even if we don't know the answer because Greeks can't kind of print money like so much.
Okay, so like, remember the Greeks and the Lydians, they kind of use like gold and silver, right? So that you can't really like, you can't, you can maybe cheat a little bit, like cut off a little piece of gold, but it's not going to be like a big impact. At the end of the day, it's gold. The Chinese, we joked about them, but there was no saying that they mismanaged it. They just said that they started to use paper for gold, but they didn't say they did it in a bad way. It was Germany where they said in a few years it went from 1 mark gold to 1 trillion marks, right?
Right. I guess so. We can kind of do it logically too.
Absolutely, we can. All right. Thank you, Kenja, for volunteering. That was really great.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Have a lovely day. Bye, Kenja.
Bye, sir.
All right, everybody. So the rest of the questions I'll leave to you. Look back at the passage to answer them. I've got to run, but you can find more materials and help at aehelp.com and glshelp.com. You can send your answers to this reading passage to my email, adrian@aehelp.com, or admin@aehelp.com. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me in this class today. I hope that I will catch up with you tomorrow for our speaking part 2 cue card lesson, and then speaking part 3. Much love to all of you wherever you are in the world today. Keep smiling, keep pushing forward. You're all smart, brilliant people. Remember, engage active reading, visualize, and follow the right strategies to get those higher scores. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria, Canada. Bye for now, everybody.